Hello, good morning all. Today in this video we are going to discuss regarding search ORM method in Odoo. So currently in the screen you are seeing Odoo version 15 community edition where we are continuing our Odoo 15 development tutorial. So the point that we will be discussing in this session is about search method. So as the name suggests, we will be using this ORM method to search and retrieve the data from the database. So there might be a lot of use case where we have to get the data from the database for different purpose. Like if we are creating a report, we have to definitely get the data from the database in order to print in the report. Suppose if we are creating a report of sale order for a particular period, to get the data we have to search inside the database by passing necessary filter like from 1st of May to last of May, and we have to retrieve the data and we have to print it in the report. So in all these case we have to get the data from database. So let's see how we can retrieve the data from the database using the search ORM method. So what I'll do is that I'll go to the technical, and here we have the playground where I can write the code, and on clicking execute the result will be shown here. So the same method you can write from the Python code, and it is same across all the Odoo versions. So let's see how we can retrieve the data from the database using the search ORM method. So let me duplicate this tab first, and if I go to the patient details and patients, and here I have the master records of patient, you can see the model name is hospital.patient, and I have got around 14 patients in my database. So let's search and get these results. So what I'll do is that here inside the code section I'll write self.env of hospital dot patient. I need to retrieve the data from this model. So self.env hospital dot patient, and if I execute, I will get the result as an empty record set of that model. Then what we have to do, you have to use dot search. We have to search inside this model. So search of as a tuple, I'll put an empty dictionary. So let me zoom in so you can see it very clearly. So I have written as follows: self.env hospital.patient search of an empty list, and if I execute, I am getting the result as follows: hospital.patient of 2316. That is all the 14 records I am getting as result. So right now we have searched without any search condition, like a plain search, to get all the data from the database. And there will be use case where we have to get the filtered result, maybe like all the gender records or all female records, or maybe the data between two dates, etc. So in that case we can pass the necessary domain here. Actually this argument is like args. The original keyword is args equal to empty dictionary, empty list. So we can apply the filter inside this list. So if I execute, the same result, nothing wrong. So normally we will not write this, so Odoo will assume the first one as the domain. Now inside this list I will add another tuple, and I'll search like gender equal to male. So what I have done is, initially we were having an empty list, and inside that empty list I have added a tuple, that is gender equal to male. I am saying I need to search those records having gender as male, and if I execute, you can see Odoo is returning as a single record, that is hospital dot patient. Now if I go here and if I filter male, you can see we are getting only a single record because we only have a single male patient in the database. And if I open that, you can see its ID is 3, its id is 3, and if I add dot name, I can get its name OM, which is the id 3. So this is how we can search in database by giving a domain, that is gender equal to male. Now if you need to get female, you can pass gender equal to female. So what I'm doing is that you can see this field name is gender. In the tooltip, you can see the technical name of this field is gender and the value is female or male. So here I have written field, which field I need to search, gender and value, gender equal to female. And if I execute, you will be getting the result as follows. Suppose if you need to make search on multiple fields, you can put a comma and you can add your next condition over here. Maybe if I need to get id greater than or id equal to a specific id equal to 9 or 5, I'll put like this. And if I click on execute, you can see it is not retrieving any data. So here I have searched like the record should be with id 6 and should be female. So if I check for id 6, let me check for id 6, it's 2, 3, 16, 17, 18. So we don't have a record in the database with id 6. So here we have an id 71. So if I try to search with id 71, execute, you can see you are getting the result. So if I change its gender to male and if I search again, you can see the result is not coming because the condition is not met. id equal to 71, it's fine, but gender is not female anymore. So both condition has to be satisfied in order to return the result. If you need to apply or condition, that is either id 71 or gender female, you can add an or operator here as follows. So you can add before two tuple, if you add an or operator. So this is how you can add an or operator. Then the result will be or of either female or with gender id 71. If you execute, you will be getting the result as follows. So I hope you get enough idea about the domain. So let me clear all these. So I'll keep an empty domain so that every data will be returned in the result. So I hope you understood the domain. Now if I need to limit the data, so currently we are receiving 14 records, that is the total number of records inside the table, and there might be some use case where we have to get only a limited number of data, maybe like only one record or maybe 5 record. In such cases, you can add limit equal to inside the search tuple. You can add limit equal to 1, and if you execute, it will return only the specified limit. Here I have passed the limit as 1, so it returns only single record. If I pass the limit as 5, execute, it will return me 5 records. And if I set the limit as 50, execute, it will not return me 50 records because the total number of records I have in that database is only 14. So the maximum number of records, or that is if the maximum is limit will be, that is if the limit is greater than total number of records, the total number of records will be returned. So if I enter 3 here, 3 records will be returned. So this is the use of limit key. So we have one more key called order. So currently if you check, we are getting the result in the increasing order of id 2, 3, 16. So let's assume a case you have to get the records in the descending order of id. You can just add comma order equal to order. It's like order by attribute in postgres. Order equal to id desk, that is id descending. So here I'm saying I need to retrieve the data from the database in the descending order of id. And if I execute, you can see 71, 63, 58. And if you didn't specify anything, that is only id, it will be like incrementing order. So if you didn't specify ascending or descending, by default it will be ascending. And if you need to get descending, id disk, desk, execute, it will be returned the descending order. Now if you need to get another key after id, if you need to specify order by another field, you can add comma name. So it will be ordered by ID descending and then name. So this is the working of search method in Odoo. So if you have any doubts, feedbacks, or suggestions, don't hesitate to share with us over the email, that is odoomates@gmail.com, and feel free to have a like, comment, and share. So that's it for the day. Have a nice day. Thank you.